2025 was so weird. I was lost in my career, I lost all my friends, and I even lost the motivation to do anything at all. Maybe that's the reason I couldn't upload even a single video in the past year. So, this video is just to document what I went through in the last year and how I got out of it. So, at the end of 2024, something happened with one of my friends and it went sideways real quick. And by January 2025, I had to remove him from my life to respect my personal boundaries. And adding on that fact, in January 2025, something happened with my college friends, and ultimately I had to leave that group also. So after that, I decided to stay alone for like the whole year, and the whole 2025 went that way. Not only that, but I was so confused in my career options. I did not know what to do. I did not even know what options do I have. I did not know what else could I choose or what can I do well. And I faced major commitment issues when I had to choose my own work. Because I have always felt like I cannot stick to just one thing for the rest of my life. I believe in learning multiple things and just picking the one that resonates the most with you. And right now, I don't have time for doing multiple things at once. So while I had trouble deciding what to do for my career, I did not have anyone to talk to. I did not have friends to hang out with, and moreover, my dear sister was getting married. So I knew the whole 2025 was going to be hell for me. And it was. I tried my best to get out of that situation, but some things just kept coming back to me. I was not mentally okay, I was not physically okay, and I wasn't doing anything at all. I lost all my motivation, I lost my will to live, and more importantly, there was nothing I could do to make that situation better. When it comes to advice, I am usually the person you can talk to, you can share things, you can trust, and you can always believe that I will get you out of that situation in one way or the other. But when I had no friends, I had no one to talk to, no one to hang out with, things got a little messy for me. I lost everything that I used to have, that I used to be happy about, even my own self. I lost contact. I lost touch with my own self. I lost everything. I lost my morals. I lost my values. And I questioned every little thing I did. And the thing that made it worse was not the lack of friends or the loneliness. It was that I was feeling underconfident. It was that I doubted everything I did. I questioned myself. I reflected on myself. I brought myself to that court where I had to prove that I was a good man and I had to get out of it. And well, it wasn't really easy for me. So I tried a lot of things. I thought that I should go to therapy, and I even, asked around and I got the therapist's number. I even, asked my friends who were doing therapy, and, I did a lot of things to get out of that, because who even wants to stay in that miserable place? But there I was. Everything I tried failed in some way. I was so scared to go to therapy because I was worried that what if the therapist says that I am all good? There's one thing about it, that maybe when you feel stuff like that, you want it to be an actual disorder. You want something wrong with you. Because if everything is right with you, there's no way to explain the things that are happening to you. I hope you understand this. So I was looking for something, for just an ounce of disorder that I could have, that I can, that I can blame. And I was just looking for something to blame. But quickly it went very pointless, because I started having anxiety attacks. And I used to have them all the time. I remember in March or in June, I had so many anxiety attacks, sometimes in college and sometimes, at home, and sometimes, there was always a fear of, that happening when I'm in a compromised situation and I cannot, get help or even get myself safely out of that situation. It is pretty hard to talk about, but I'm trying my best. But then I saw no stops to those anxiety attacks. So while these anxiety attacks were happening, I recalled that there was some kind of technique or some kind of meditation camp for 10 days, which is called the Vipassana. And I heard of it like 1 or 2 years back in 2023 or 2022. But then I got reminded of that in that very moment. So in March, I was looking to book one of these sessions. Those are completely free, by the way. And I went to that 10-day Vipassana meditation, which actually proved quite useful for me considering the situation I was in. So I was in that low of a situation that if anything was to help me even 1%, I used to grab that opportunity so quick. And the hardest part is hiding all of this from your family, hiding all of this from the people you live with. So even though I know it's not healthy to hide feelings like that from the people you live with, because they can be your strongest support in times like these, but still I didn't have the courage to tell anyone what happened with me, or even give a slight hint of what is going on in my life, or how depressed and anxious I was feeling. But yet I somehow came out of that. So after I looked into this Vipassana meditation, I saw that there is a waiting of 2 months, and you have to book the slot at exactly 12 a.m. when the registration goes live to get your desired slot. So very hopefully I went on the website, and the website was crashing multiple times, and it was really hard because the traffic was so much. So later I got to know that the place I booked for in the mountains is actually the highest Vipassana meditation center in India. It was in Himachal Pradesh. And I saw the photos, the views, and it was really beautiful in the photos. And so I booked it. And when I arrived there, I got to know that this center was really hard to book because of the demand it has. And yet I still managed to get in. So I would like to thank the universe for that. So I learned a lot of things about detachment and how feelings should keep moving through your mind. And it really helped me not get stuck in that lifestyle that I was in that mindset that I was in. And it was overall a pretty wholesome thing for me, and I really liked going there. So in the Vipassana meditation, we didn't used to have phones. We didn't used to have any contact with the outside world. We were in the premises, and we weren't allowed to go anywhere else. And we could not talk for 10 days, and we just had to meditate 10 hours a day for 10 days. And it was quite hard at first, but later on when I got used to it, I believed it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I cried so much when I was there, just thinking about how things have been for me in the past whole year. And the starting 6 months of 2025 were really, really very hard for me. I had to cut ties off with many people during that time, and I was confused as well as to what should I do with my life, and even thought of taking it. But the sense of clarity that I gained from Vipassana was immensely helpful for me. I will make a detailed video on Vipassana because that should be my contribution to the community, because Vipassana is such an ancient practice and it has been almost non-existent, and you might not even have heard of it. So after coming back, I achieved a sense of clarity, a sense of relief. I was not battling myself anymore. I was not fighting with my emotions every day anymore. I was not, waking up and just questioning what my life is supposed to be and going to sleep. And none of that was happening anymore. I was just so clear. I was so content, and I felt so good. I knew that whatever I had to face next, it would be gone in a second. And even if it's not gone in a second, I would have the courage to face it with all my strength. And that's what I did. So the rest of the year, from July to the whole December, I was so busy. It's like I had something to do always. And there was not even a single day that I was very free and I could, just have some time to myself. The whole next half of the year went in preparing for some competitive exams, and I studied like really hard for it. And even though I had only 3 months, and let's not forget my sister's wedding was around the corner in November. So the whole November I couldn't study anything, and the exam was in the last of November. And yet, even though I couldn't prepare for this exam so much, I managed to secure a decent enough score. And I think that speaks a lot about how much I recovered from the first half of the 2025. Because in the first half of 2025, I was so confused, I was so disoriented. But at the end of 2025, I became so clear. I knew what I had to do, and I still know what I have to do. So I tried making short form content on Instagram Reels, and I did that for 7 consecutive days. For 7 days, I wasn't focused on anything else. I knew that I just had to make a reel a day. And that's how it kept on going till I reached that 7-day mark. And I was like, wow, this is something I could do. So, however much 2025 hurt me in the start, I think it made me stronger in the next half. And it's not just about strong, it's about the resilience. I was able to face more things. I was able to face situations with a genuine calmness in my mind, with a genuine experience that I had throughout the year. So I think that whole 2025 has built me from the ground up. So those lows were really bad, but I think the highs were even better. And it's just because of the contrast between the highs and the lows in your life, I think you're able to enjoy the highs more because of the lows. So don't think that anything is permanent in your life, and don't even take the good things for granted, because they can vanish in a second. And the bad things can also vanish in a second. So if the whole point of life is impermanence, then we should embrace it how we live life also. And that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope my viewers do not have to face things like that. But even if you do, please remember that everything in life is impermanent, and you cannot really expect anything to stay forever with you, even if it's a bad thing or even if it's a good thing. So let's leave all those negative vibes behind in 2025 and let's start 2026 anew. We start with new energy, new positivity, and new mindset. If you're new to this channel, I really request you to subscribe to me, and I promise that I'm going to deliver content more consistently, because this year I've planned things in a more structured way, and I know that it starts right here from this video. So if you've watched till the end, make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you liked the video and felt even a little bit inspired, share it with your friends to motivate them too, because in the end we want everyone to grow, prosper, succeed in life. This is Rahul Verma. Peace out.